just north of Toronto, and my house down here. So I've been very lucky in that sense of just having some space to get out.
Are there people you can see during quarantining, or are you quarantining with anybody? Have you been able to see anyone?
Yeah, I'm quarantining with my uncle, actually. It's pretty awesome. He's a good friend of mine, so it's pretty sweet. We're just we're just cooking food and hanging out.
And when you go further up north and you go up to your cabin, what do you do there?
Kind of a lot of the same I do here, just like with walking outside. I just bought a motorcycle, which I'm real stoked on.
Oh, nice. What kind of bike?
I've been riding around up there, ripping it up. It's a Suzuki DR650. It's a big old...
How fast does that go?
Kind of like 80s looking fast. Yeah, it goes fast.
That's awesome. And the roads are kind of wide open right now, so it's a good time to test that bad boy out.
I actually don't have my license, so...
What?
I don't have my license yet, so I'm just ripping it up on some dirt roads and stuff just by my cottage. It's an off-road bike, so it works for that. But the first thing I'm gonna do when they let me is go get my license, and then take a little road trip.
Gotcha, that's really cool. So what have you been up to, like staying busy-wise in quarantine? Like what keeps you occupied?
Music, a lot of music. Yeah, I've been writing a lot, working with my like two close friends who are both are producers. And
who were they?
Moose, who's like a longtime producer of mine. Me and him have done everything from day one. And my buddy Loesch, Sir Loesch, he's a wicked producer. Me and him became friends almost like 6 years ago now, I guess, maybe 7. And just epic. The two of them kind of have different sounds, and it's really nice for me to just kind of bounce back and forth.
Then where does Alex the Kid fit in the picture?
He's just a wicked friend. Also, he's out in LA. I mean, if quarantine wasn't going on right now, if quarantine wasn't happening right now, I'd be on road. I'd be touring, but I would be probably, if I wasn't doing that, I'd be out working with him on some stuff for sure. I mean, we were cooking up a lot of good stuff just before this kind of all hit. So
what were you working on?
Yeah, I mean, just creative ideas, really. Just a lot of stuff is music, but a lot of stuff is also just us trying to figure out, trying to predict trends, I guess, or figure out, things that we could be doing that are more than just music, or working creative muscles in that kind of sense, just trying new stuff.
When I think about you sometimes and your sound, I'm going to paint a little picture for you, if you will. You know how Tarantino says that he writes his films based on finding the music first and then writes the films after he finds the songs? I feel like for some reason, and tell me how it actually works for you, that you write films and then write your songs based on films. Or you watch films and then write your songs based on films.
You're not wrong. I think I'll watch a film and I'll hear a quote. I'll hear a character say something, or I'll like a character, or I like the whole movie. And it'll give me an idea for a song, or it'll give me an idea for a hook, or maybe even if I'm lucky, sometimes an album. But yeah, it's all like I have like a weird, you got to hit on all of the senses. So it's not just like music for me. It has to just hit on all 6 cylinders. You know what I mean? It's got to be more than just music for me. It's got to be some kind of experience. But I don't like the word experience, and I did, but it was, I heard someone say it's a lazy way of describing things. Have you ever heard of, in New York, they have something called Sleep No More? You ever heard of that?
What's that?
It's like a living, breathing play where you essentially, you can walk around the theater and everyone's wearing a mask, and you all can just walk around on your own free will, but there's different parts of the play happening live, and you can choose to follow the play. And that for me kind of just, it blew me away. And ever since that, it's always been about more than just music. What can we do that? I also hate the word franchise, but yeah, how can we kind of go franchise with this? How can we go bigger than music? And
is that why in Christian you hear sort of bring
it to the
think I'm losing you for a second. It's spinning.
Sorry?
There you are. Okay. You came out of focus for a second.
Give me a second.
Yeah.
I lost you again. I got you back, though.
We're back.
Sorry, one more time.
So I was going to ask you, though, in relation to all of that, how you're trying to bring things from maybe 2D to more even 3D, right? Or 4D, if you will. In Christian, is that why you hear the themes of the big show in Madhouse and things like that? It sounds like kind of over-the-top theatrical things, or what was the basis for that?
Yeah, I mean, Christian, a bit of like a, it was a bit of a tornado of an album, I think. Just mixing it. Well, it is a big show. It's a big circus. I think I've been part of this big circus for a bit now, and you know, I'm a niche artist, I guess, or something. I don't know. I'm just kind of I'm a bit of a weirdo, you know. So I don't know. I feel like it's a circus. Maybe to other people it doesn't feel like one, but definitely to me it does. And I don't think anyone ever fits into a circus. I think that's the whole point of it. So,
I mean, at one point you had mariachis open up your shows. That was the one that happened the night they shut down the streets by First Avenue, right? And they did the Prince tribute, and then you were trying to go on stage with mariachis at 7th Street Entry, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, that was the last. I think that my very last show of that tour.
So you did that, and then you had Magic, right, on the most recent tour?
Yeah.
So what were you planning to bring out, or what are you planning to bring out to support Christian when you hit the road finally?
Oh, we were going to do a Madison.
Really?
In keeping with the M's. We're going to get a live bull that run around in the audience and kind of everyone would have to kind of get out of the way and, you know, around for their life. No, I honestly... For this show, we were going to do an hour before show, which was new because normally we do 2 hours. So we're going to do doors open hour before show, no opening act. I was going to go out and do a live show with like a full band and play Christian and then songs off the other albums, like some of the more well-known songs off the other albums. But it was going to be just like really raw and unrefined Allan Rayman with a band. I think it was, you know, for me, I think in these settings, you know, some of the rooms are smaller, some of the ones get bigger, and to kind of bring it into that intimate setting, a lot of people I think want to see that. And you know, I just did a tour where it was just me on stage, so the stark contrast of you know, a lone wolf up there in big setting to a big band in a small setting, I think could be. I thought it would just be a lot of fun, and I'm bummed I couldn't do it. So we're working on the live show right now, actually, that we're going to do online.
And tell me more about that. What are you planning to do?
Yeah, we're going to do, man, I'm so stoked about this because we just figured it out. But I'm going to do, the plan is to do 4 shows in June.
Online.
Online, and with the full band. I'm going to do it up north. We're going to get, you know, a whole like LTE emitter or whatever you can do to make sure that, you know, we have good signal and good sound, and we're going to put on a good live show. And I think, you know, that this is the way it's going to be for a bit. Then I want to perfect that and bring a live show that that, you know, is the way we do it. You know, it's got to be different, it's got to be unique, but it's got to hit hard. So we're trying to work at a live experience for people that.
Where do you think you'll be doing that? Instagram, YouTube, Facebook? How is it going to work?
We're going to do it. I'd like to say, you know, in my perfect world, I'd like to do it through AllanRayman.com. Okay. So that would be my goal. But obviously, I mean, I don't know technology that well, so someone's probably got other plans for that. But either way, it's going to happen. So I'm going to make sure.
Well, I know myself as a fan, and all of your fans in here are probably really stoked for that, because anyone who's a fan of your music and familiar, I mean, we're talking multiple albums at this point. We know how special your voice is, and I'm not just trying to gas you right now. You have such a special voice that doesn't require production. In a world that's so digitally influenced, it's going to be so great. I mean, I really think that this is an opportunity for you to showcase how naturally talented you are compared to people. Not that there's anything wrong with produced voices, but your voice is so unique. And Wow.
I appreciate what you're saying right now, because it's honestly, you're hitting it right on the head, because for the first time ever, and I'll say it to any artists, would-be artists out there who are listening, the stage is even. You're going the people who play arenas and the people who play the dives, we have the same stage right now, and it's online, so you have an even playing field. And if you can use that in your advantage and try and showcase strut your stuff, I think I've always been confident in my live show. I'm not one for calling out anyone or saying anything, but I think we toe to toe, we can pull a live show, no problem. So as long as we can drive that live and have that same element, that same excitement feel to it, which we're gonna do, I think this could be a real big moment for us, and I'm real excited about it. So is my whole team.
I 100% agree.
Yeah, we're very.
I feel like I haven't known you as long as some of your fans, because I feel like it took a minute to trickle across the border from Canada to America. But since 13 and all of Hotel Allan and Roadhouse and all of those different albums, we're now 4 albums deep. Now are we 5?
Yep.
4.
We're 4, and you're 5 with Courtney, but Courtney's. It says Courtney's a single on Spotify, so I have no idea there. But I'd say Courtney's an album, but no.
And you're already working on the next album, which is what us as fans we love about you, is that you don't stop. You just sort of put something out, and then you're like on to the next thing, working on the next project, kind of putting out more art all the time.
I'll tell you right now, if I could drop something right now. It's called the Verona mixtape. It's called Verona's mixtape, and we're gonna drop it. But that's all I can say.
Wait, you gotta say more. The Verona mixtape. I mean, you kind of just dropped a nugget. Give us a little bit more about what do you mean mixtape?
Okay, well, I'll tell you. I'm working on. I have a vision for this whole thing, and I've been working on it since Hotel Allan, and I have an end to it. I have a finish to it, but I don't want to get there just yet. So I keep kind of creating little. I think that's what I've been doing with this whole. I call them the name series. Courtney, Harry, and Christian. And I just, since this quarantine started, I've been toying with, maybe I could just record myself playing guitar with my phone and sing vocals and drop a mixtape of just a bunch of scratch guitar and vocal stuff, or I can go and actually produce it out, do that, but then produce it out with my producers and come up with some, real good music there. But we actually just dug into a project we've been working on for a future release, and just grabbed a grouping of songs and then put a little story behind it. And it's called Verona's mixtape, and I'm real excited about that.
Got you. So would you say that it's a conceptual, a concept art piece?
It is always the case. I mean, I think that's just kind of across the board that that's how it goes. Yeah, it's a story. It's a kid dropped off a mixtape of Allan Rayman songs he found that I forgot I'd made, and it's for his girl, and he wanted me to promote it. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Awesome. So
yeah, I don't know how I found the song, but beats me. But I liked them. I forget even having written them.
So are you drinking a beer right now? Because I'm definitely on tea. Is that beer?
No, it's tea. It's called Alexander Keith's.
Where's that from? I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it's India Pale Ale tea. No, it's a beer. It's Canadian. It's Canadian. I think it's Nova Scotia.
Gotcha.
Am I right? Yeah, it's Nova Scotia. That's fantastic beer. Canada's got
What
good beer.
is your favorite drink in quarantine? Is it beer?
Oh, no. No, it's not actually. Quarantine's been pretty healthy for me, to be honest. I drink a lot of water, yeah. But I love, it's springtime here in Toronto, and it's definitely a slow spring. We got beautiful days on and off, but there's still a nip to the air. But vodka is pretty nice with a Caesar, or a Bloody Mary, as you guys know down there.
For sure. You love to sneak down here to Minnesota, right? Is it because of golf? Is that what it is? You come down here for a lot?
Of all things, I do not go to Minnesota for the golf. No.
What do you typically come for?
No, honestly, there's always been a calling for us out there. I mean, I think I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky to have been to the places I've been and toured the way I do. And, we're a very quiet act, but we we have a reach with audience, with tickets.
Yeah.
So I'm very lucky for the traveling that I've been able to do. And I don't pick the places. I have a great agent, and we kind of just decide where we want to go based on demand for a show that we, when he's confident you can do it. I think the benchmark is, at least 200 tickets. Then let's travel. Let's travel. Whatever. Let's go.
What's your favorite Minneapolis, Minnesota, Twin Cities memory?
Oh man. I don't know, really. It's I've had some times, for sure. I've had some times. I was sick as a dog. I played my first show. I think it was my first show. I was sick as hell. And my sister came. She was living in Boston, and my sister came up from Boston with her husband, and she watched the show. And I was sick. And every time I'm sick as a dog for a show, it ends up being my best. I don't know what it is. I think it's adrenaline. I think adrenaline just takes over, and I just shred, but then I'm dead after, and everyone wants to Sally and have a good time, and I can't do squat. I'm going to bed, so it's always tough. But yeah, it was a good time. We had a fun night that night, for sure.
Can I circle back to the album Christian for a second, because I had a really particular couple questions as a fan. I want to ask you. I think it was the song Bunny where you start out saying "I love you, I love you, I love you." Mm-hmm. Was that you practicing? Yeah. Was you saying "I love you" to someone in real life, or what was that all about, that moment?
Well, there are 3 big words. That's what the song's kind of all about, is 3 big words. And, I think everyone knows when they say it and they mean it. You know what I mean? With those words. If you've ever said it and you meant it to someone, you're never going to forget that moment. And that doesn't mean, if you live with that person, you say it every day, but when you first say it, that's kind of what that is. And it's just me saying it a bunch of times, because it wasn't practice. I was just actually just saying it a bunch just over and over again, kind of in like almost, I don't really pick my words carefully here because I don't want to be disrespectful, but almost in like in a stutter, like in a kind of Howard Hughes kind of way, Mm-hmm. When you just get trapped or in like a circle of saying a word, like I think in the movie he goes quarantine, 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 quarantine. Like you just start saying it over and over. I love you, 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 I love you. Just kind of like you can get stuck in that when sometimes, and that happened, and we just recorded it. So, but yeah, it's like that whole song. Like it's I remember I've said it twice and meant it. So I know both times.
Yeah, you remember it specifically. It sounded like when I was listening to that, I was like, wow, I really connect with this, even though you were repeating the same 3 words over and over again. By the end, I was like, oh, he really loves this person, whoever he's saying it to. Whether it was you were saying it to yourself in a mirror or saying it to a romantic interest, I couldn't tell it. At first, I was like, he's saying it to himself in the mirror, trying to say, I love myself. Like, I love you. I love you. And then I was like, oh, maybe it's something else. But no matter what it is, I was sold by the end. I was like, it's real. Like, that's real love right there. And I loved that moment in the album, even though it had nothing to do with singing per se. It was a really cool spoken word piece that I would love to see you.
Yeah, I mean, I've been always trying to explore the spoken word. There's a song I have called Alabama Song on Hotel Allan, and a song called Jim's Story on Roadhouse 1, and Courtney and Harry kind of, I don't know. I went off a little bit and enjoyed myself with those albums for sure. We're going back in that direction though, for sure. And it's, I think the whole point of the songs and where, at least when I write them, is that it's so many different perspectives. It's so confusing sometimes. I mean, a lot of the time it could just be the Roadhouse Allan relationship where I'm just talking to myself from a more confident standpoint to the more weaker version of, like, the confident side of me is talking to the weaker side of me and saying, man up kind of thing, toughen up a bit. Or I'm talking to, or sometimes it seems like I'm talking to a girl, but I'm actually talking to myself, the weaker side of myself. And I'm not saying that girls are weak, but like it is a trick that you can use as a writer, I guess, where you can kind of play with people. You can toy with them a little bit, and I don't do it on purpose. It's all subconscious. Honestly, when it comes to writing and stuff, I'm just a conduit or something. I'm so lucky. I have no idea. I'm such the wrong man for the job. I've always said it, and I truly am. But I really do. The music, I've never been concerned about making an album or making more music, and I love it. I love it. I really, and I've said it, and I don't mean to sound like a dick or anything. I need to like it. I need to love it, because if I didn't, and I started making it only for people who listen to it, like, that's something else. That's industry, and I can't be. I'm not. That's where I don't fit in.
I don't see you, and I don't think any of your fans see you as a trend follower. We see you sort of as a unique entity in the music world, doing your own thing, and it feels like a secret club. Like, we know about you, and we want the rest of the world to know about your talents and your amazing voice, and they don't know yet. And we're like all here, like, how do we get the world to know about Allan Rayman? Because you are such a special voice in a time of so many voices that sound similar. And it's like we're all in here in this live, like, we want all our friends to know. We want everybody to know about you. And, like, we're all here to lift you up the best we can because we believe in you.
You know what? I feel that, and I feel it right now a lot, too. I know it's weird. It's such tough times for everybody, but I definitely feel it. And, I've always been reluctant and, I guess nervous to engage at all with fans, to let them in at all. And I think I'm starting to turn a little bit on that and just kind of say, I feel a fight myself. I have a fight in me to, and I'm really trying to watch my words. I'm really trying to watch my words, because I don't want to, I in no way am I like aggressive towards the industry or anything like that, but I just want to be inspired or be fired up by another artist that, like, I truly wish, I really want to know what they're doing and how they will go about their work. And I'd love to, get into that. And I feel like I've always said my brother was, like, born in the wrong era. He should be a Viking swinging an axe through a battlefield, and I'm sure he wishes that was the truth. And for me, I think, I wish if any other generation I could have maybe, had, done something, not that, like, tough. I feel like I'm from a different generation.
Which generation would you put yourself in?
I just want to make music and just have music speak for itself, and then we champion the music. We don't champion the personality. I think it's just tough because, like, you want the better an artist, generally it goes, the better an artist, the crazier they are, and it's not easy to be around crazy people, and it's so I think it's a strange thing when I've been asked, okay, Allan Rayman, the music is great. I like the music. I like the show. But, like, if you ask me who the artist is, I have no idea. I can't tell you who the personality is. And I think that's always been something I struggle with, because I didn't want people to know it.
You were a mystery for the longest time. I even remember when I first discovered you, because I work in radio, I went on, like, this mission to try to figure out what label you were on, and you were sort of, like, moving and figuring things out, and there was, like, 3 pictures of you on the internet for a while. Like, that was it. you were not on the internet.
Yeah. No, I know. I can't. I don't know. I was hiding. Well, and you know what? I also had no idea. I didn't know what I wanted people to see of me anyways. I had no way of knowing what I wanted to even be perceived at. All I knew what I could do is if I hide in the shadows, I can just be this thing that people see. They see it through here. They hear about it. They hear it through the music, and they see it at a show, but they never get to meet it. They never get to hear it speak. You can be like Batman. You could be. And I really wanted that. I really wanted to stay doing that. But you can't, the commerce is important here. And I have a team of people who need to work, who need this thing to also move and work. You know what I mean? So it's such a tough, at this point with music where we are, it's so far gone that you need, not even the most not even the most brilliant minds in the game, not even the most strong, most influential people could help an artist do just that, because it's commerce.
Wouldn't you say? So. I mean, I would say this about you, but I think that you're one of the most authentic musicians I've ever had the pleasure of having more than a 5-minute conversation with. And on top of that, what's really interesting about you, and correct me if I'm misspeaking here, but you kind of were a reluctant musician. Is that a fair way to put it? That you said that you didn't ever expect to be a singer at one point, right? That you sort of fell into singing. Was that the story?
Oh, yeah. No, talked into it by my friends, and then it got busier and busier I quit 2 jobs to go
and for your fans who don't know, because it is hard to find things about you on the internet, what is the story about how your friends talked you into becoming a singer?
Honestly, me and a group of friends, 512 is the name of the crew. Just a bunch of, it was high school, and I moved around a bit from different high schools, and I found a group of good friends of mine who live in the neighborhood here in Toronto, and they called themselves the 512. And I love these kids, man. These guys they took me in as a little brother, and the freestyling every night. We just have some beers in Aviv's garage and freestyle. And these guys there's something called King of the Dot. To anyone who knows about that, it's called KOTD, King of the Dot. I don't know why I'm putting it on so hard, like I had anything to do with it. But these guys, Tricky P, Feel Good, Lavish Language. I mean, these guys they freestyled, and they battled other kids from all over Canada. My buddy Tricky P at one point flew to England to battle kids in England, and he was going to the States, to LA. He was battling. It was all about Trick for me when I was coming up. It was all about my buddy Trick, and I just watched him freestyle, and he was the most talented person I've ever seen in my life. The way he strung together, he was truly one of the best rappers I've ever seen or heard of. And he kind of taught me, like, I would just freestyle with him, and he always knew I had a rhythm, and my words he liked my words, but obviously I wasn't a rapper. I just owed all to these guys. Yeah, in the 512, I took the name. I stuck with it. It's on this poster behind me somewhere, I'm sure. Yeah, right at the top.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's just always been something I carry so proudly with me. It's such a good group of friends, and so you need that supportive group behind you, and they push me into it, and they pump me up, and and they gave me the confidence to do this. And Adam Ehrlich also, I should mention his name. He is that's a whole other story we don't need to go into, but Adam Ehrlich is my dude. He was my manager from day one, and still to this day he's hard working on the project every day. We talk on the phone about it, and he just had a kid. So, well, he didn't just have a kid, but the kid's about to be, I think, 1.5 or 2. I don't know. If you're watching, I'm so sorry. I don't know your kid's age right now.
Time is hard in quarantine, though, right? It feels like we've been doing this for 2 years, but it's only been 2 months. It's all very confusing right now. And you just said that you were freestyling, and does that mean you'll ever freestyle on an album in the future?
If you dig hard enough, I'm sure you could find some Allan Rayman rap
on a mixtape somewhere that hasn't come out.
Somewhere, yeah. I used to go by the name Ray. I shouldn't tell you this because if people are there to listen, but yeah, I used to freestyle so much. It was all about rap first for me, but I never listened to rap like the way my friends did. I listened to classic rock and grunge and the stuff I love and emulate, I guess, as a musician. But I work with Moose, who grew up on hip hop, and all my friends grew up on hip hop, and so I kind of adopted elements of it for sure. But I suppose I'm going to go back to that, and and I think that's what really worked for us at the very beginning, and maybe it's time we go back to that and try that with this new accessible Allan that we're seeing more and more.
Well, it's nice to see you. You're nice to look at. I'll say that for other women out there. I'll say that for myself. You're nice to look at. But when it comes to when you get out of quarantine, you were talking about earlier, like musicians you look up to or ones you've been following. Who are some of those people that you would maybe want to work with?
I'll tell you my ideal scenario. I'll tell you my dream right now, okay? I'd love to get a riverboat raft tour, like one of those big old steamboats.
Okay, yeah. The big white ones.
I want to go down the Mississippi, and I want Eddie Vedder, Dave Matthews, Marcus Mumford, and shit, there's one.
I like where your head's at, though, because I know I heard. Yeah. I'm going to be revealing a secret here.
Gary Clark Jr. I want Gary Clark on there. And then I want to do me, obviously. And it would be like a 10-year goal for me where we all just do acoustic songs and it's acoustic sets. And we pull up on little, I guess, amphitheaters along the way. And that would just be an epic little, I'm sure there's amazing. Yeah, Ben Howard, I'm sure. There's a bunch of acoustic sets that'd be amazing. But yeah, those are some of my favorites. Growing up, like Vedder and Dave Matthews. For me, Dave is a huge reason as to why I write music. He's the kind of music that you listen to and it literally transports you. Like I can shut my eyes and I'm always on a summer day listening to Dave. No matter, and I'm outside and I'm on a lake and it could be dead of winter and I'm in, Paris or some crap like that. But all of a sudden I put on a Dave Matthews song and I'm back and it's warm and it's warm.
You brought up two bands that people actually followed around the world, around the United States, probably around Canada too, though I'm not as familiar. But I mean, Dave Matthews Band and Pearl Jam are both bands that people who are fans of them will be like, oh, I've seen over 50 shows. I mean, that would be amazing to have you team up with them and create some music, go down that river.
It's not crazy far-fetched. We've had some things happen in life so far that have really kind of connected some of those dots. I was invited by Vedder's I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you a story, but it's okay. I'm just going to tell it anyways. I was flown out to Seattle, and I got to go to their factory, this Pearl Jam factory, and you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe what they have in there. It's the coolest stuff ever, and I maybe shouldn't say the story, I guess, but yeah, they have a magical Pearl Jam land. Where if you were a Pearl Jam fan, you got to step foot in there. I'll tell you, you would lose your mind.
What was in there?
I can't. I don't know if I can go into it. But I'll tell you the coolest thing about it was the girl who was walking me around, showing me around the whole place. She was the girl on the cover of Jeremy with the white tank top and the gun.
That's cool.
So that was, for me, we had a cigarette at the end, and I was like, that's cooler than the whole everything I just seen. So. But yeah, they got it all in there. They're. When I saw that, it was, to me, it was a big hello kind of moment of what you could really do with music if you really made it independent. If you really did it.
How far you can take it.
How far you can take it, yeah, and how far and how much involved. How. It's such a fine line with the fans. Again, I always goes back to fans and stuff like that. And I hate the word. I hate even saying it.
I don't mind it. I'll say I'm a fan. It's fine for me.
And that's totally cool. I just hate saying I have them or something like that, but I also am coming around to like saying, how can I involve them in a way where they feel more like they're part of it too, part of a fight, because it is a little bit of a fight. We're so weird, we're so different, and you want to see this work, you want to see it do well, then fight for it. Fight, get it, request it on your radio stations. You are the people. You choose the music you want to listen to. If you really want to hear it out and see it do its thing, fight for it. Then fight with me, and we'll get after it together.
Would that be a good bridge for me to ask some fan questions? Because we do have a couple fan questions.
Ask away.
One fan asked, how is it that you take negative, sad emotions, and how do you actually turn those into creative moments?
That's kind of one of those. I'm so lucky that I guess I have a creative muscle for that, because I just it just flows or it doesn't. It doesn't happen all the time. There's a lot of bad days and you don't do anything with it, but then you get lucky, you go into a studio and you have a chance to do something creative, and then it comes out. It's kind of like therapy in a way. You don't address it, it addresses you. It comes out and it'll manifest itself in some way or another on its own liking, I think. You know? If that makes any sense.
No, a lot of people say that music is therapy for us as the listeners, but also for you as the creator. I mean, that absolutely makes sense. I'm pulling up some more questions here.
Yep.
Someone said they know you're a big fan of movies. What are some of the best movies you've watched in quarantine?
I'll just say one, Paris, Texas. It's a fantastic movie. It's probably one of my favorite movies. Beautiful movie. Cinematography, lighting, colors, it's wonderful. And the story is it's such a warm story. Simple, it's kind of like my perfect movie because the plot isn't crazy. It's not a lot of, you don't have to really follow along. You can kind of get lost in the whole picture of it. So Paris, Texas, go watch that movie if you've never seen it.
I've never seen it, so I'll go watch it.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's slow. It's a slow burn, but just, I don't know. I would pour a glass of wine and check that movie out.
Someone just wrote in the comments, and I'm going to bring this up because I'm a big fan of Jessie Reyez as well, but someone just dropped, are you ever going to collaborate with her again?
Yeah, you know what? You go ask her that question.
How long have you two known each other?
A while now, yeah, a long time. Before she even thought. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she didn't think about it at the time, but yeah, through Moose, we know each other through Moose, and she's wonderful. I love that girl. I want to see her take over the world. So I'm so excited for her, and she is, and she's going to. So just watch her.
You both will. I believe in both of you to the utmost degree. Let me pull up another question here. This is funny. Someone said, Allan, what's your worst lyric?
It's my worst lyric. I'll just tell you right now, probably Stitch. Yeah, I love Stitch. Trust me, like, it's growing on me. I like that song, but that song is a demo that somehow got made into a single.
Okay. Let me pull up one more here. Yeah. What inspired you to make 6 a.m. and Madhouse?
Well, I mean, I think those are the song is kind of speak for himself. 6 a.m. is a bad Thursday, I guess. You have a bad day, and I love that. You know what? I'll tell you here. 6 a.m. That boy ain't right. If any of you know of a show called King of the Hill, there's your little Easter egg. King of the Hill. 6 a.m. and already that boy ain't right. That's kind of where that phrase comes from. But
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any other favorite cartoons?
No, not really. I guess I used to fall asleep to Family Guy all the time. I love that show. Yeah. No, I don't know. Now I kind of don't have any patience for cartoons, but that's just me. I was nothing against them. I like real people and real movies. I don't know.
If there was one thing that people who aren't a part of this secret society we have of like being crazy super fans of you like me, what would you want them to know about you as Allan Rayman, the singer and the artist?
Well, first off, I'd like to say, thank you for riding along. And I'm sorry if I, don't play the part well enough sometimes. It's tough. I'm figuring it all out the same way I think, anybody else is out here. I think one day at a time. And I just like to make music, and I like to make stories, and I like to be creative, and I like to play shows. And I'm so lucky to get to do all those in spades. So as long as I can keep doing those things and keep having that canvas to paint on, then I'm going to be painting, and I'm going to be sharing. So just thank you. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to keep trucking. Yeah. So, until the day comes that I don't like, doing what I'm doing. And, that day's kind of creeped here and creeped there and then subsides, but I think we're all right. So
it all ebbs and flows, right? Kind of like going through anything. Life's a roller coaster.
That's it. We're a highway.
Yeah.
From that Canadian singer who sang that one. What's his name? He also sang the song "Boy Inside the Man." That's a great song too. I forget his name. Someone in here.
A lot of people are dropping in the comments the Timberwolf little emoji For people that don't know, do you want to explain why the Timberwolf keeps coming up in the comments?
The thing on my hand here?
Yeah, see, people seem to know about that, your tattoo, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the wolf has always been my animal, and it's always been how I kind of feel about it. I'm a bit of a lone wolf. One of my biggest regrets is that I never... Tom Cochran! Yes! Sorry, someone nailed it. Tom Cochran. That's it. That's right. No, it's always been kind of a, I would love to have a band that did this with me from day one. I guess Moose is kind of that band, and he's a producer, though. He's kind of a bit more shy on stage, and we've shared a stage, but and I got so lucky to play with some of the best musicians, and they come and go, and I love that, and I support everything they do, and they support me, and I think one day I think if I could tomorrow, if this quarantine ended tomorrow, I'd go start a band with my buddy Mike. And it'd be something separate from Allan. I'd still do Allan Rayman stuff, but I'd probably start a band with him and put an album out within 6 months. We'd have an album out. So, I don't see why you can't be prolific. I don't see why it's a bad thing to put out as much music as you want, And just make sure you like it. If you're an artist, just make sure you like it. Don't put out things for other people. Don't put out too much because if I put something out tomorrow, it's not because I dislike Christian.
Yeah.
Because I just made something and I want to put it out, like I made Christian a year ago, you know what I mean? Like to not put anything out for a year for me is insane. I want to put music out. So yeah, Christian's out. Well, this one's coming out too.
Well, I mean, it's a digital universe, so it feels like more and more singles, one-off projects, and all these things keep coming up for people. I think you're living in the right era, honestly, to put out non-stop music if that's what you continue to want to do.
Maybe there's a bit of everything and everything. Maybe.
And you could always call your next album Lone Wolf, and all of us in here will know why you did that.
I always like to hide things and things, right? So I don't think I'd ever be so blatant about it, but maybe I'd call it something like Lassie or something like that. Something like that. Like about
I got you. Well, thank you for spending so much time with us today. We really appreciate you checking in, hanging out, answering so many questions.
Hey, all the time. And thank you guys for just supporting me. I mean, like it's, I don't got a lot of you guys out there, and I really do appreciate everything you've ever done for me and continue to do for me. And I'm always riding with you guys. So whenever you want me back out there, let's throw a show. Let's play it up.
There's a lot of music in the world, but there isn't a lot of music like yours in the world. And any opportunity, I think any of us as fans in here can have to champion something that's as special and unique as what you do. We're all going to do it for you. Your music and your talent speaks for itself, and we really appreciate what you do.
Thank you so much. That's the sweetest thing. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you, and have a great time in quarantine at the cabin and at your house right now. And we'll check in soon, and definitely let us know when you have new music. We'll put it on Go 96.3 for you.
Very soon, 100%. I'll send you something right now.
All right.
You guys something but not for these people. I'll send you guys to take a listen. Okay.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.